Today's enterprise isn't confined to a single office. It's distributed across campuses, remote workers, and cloud environments. Checkpoint brings network, cloud, and endpoint security together under a single, intelligent policy framework, delivering the consistency and simplicity that set it apart in the industry. In this video, we will see it unfold, following the latest firewall software release, R82.20. Every security journey begins with a single policy protecting a single network. A security administrator defines who can access the organization's applications and services, creating policies that allow legitimate business traffic while blocking everything else. Each rule is centrally managed and enforced by the organization's checkpoint gateways. But today's enterprise is no longer that simple. As the organization grows, so does its infrastructure. New cloud environments become part of the business, each introducing its own security requirements and policies. As workloads move to the cloud, the administrator defines access policies for cloud firewalls to control traffic between applications, users, and cloud resources. While the interface remains familiar, each cloud environment introduces its own set of security controls to manage. As applications move to the cloud, the administrator must also configure policies in the cloud platform's native firewalls. We will dive into this process. From your checkpoint management interface, choose the Cloud Native Firewalls option at the bottom left corner. Then press Create. A new window appears in which you need to enter the firewall name, the asset ID, the access key, choose your region, and test the connection. If you get a green check mark, you can press OK. You can add accounts and firewalls later by pressing the Create Account button in the main policy page. Once you note the Managed By column, indicating where the policies governing these AWS firewalls are being managed. Once the firewalls are set, press the Create Policy button on the top right and configure which firewalls should enforce it. Now you can open the policy and create individual rules for the firewall to enforce. As you can see, the experience of managing your network security is seamless, while Checkpoint automatically translates and enforces those policies using each cloud provider's native security controls. The growing branch network brings another layer of policy, as SD-WAN rules are introduced to control how traffic flows across the enterprise. To enforce SD-WAN traffic steering policies, go to Shared Policies section in the main menu on the left and choose SD-WAN policy. Before you can set any SD-WAN policies, you need to enable the SD-WAN blade. So go to Network Objects on the top right menu and choose Gateways and Servers. Now you need to choose the gateways you want to use to enforce SD-WAN policies. So choose them and enable the SD-WAN blade in the Advanced Network section, in the middle of the Gateway's General Properties page. Once done, go back to the main SD-WAN Policies page and press the Create Policy button. You will notice 3 predefined profiles you can choose from. Pressing the Create Policy button again will give you the default policy package for the profiles you chose. Click the Steering profile to get its details. On screen, you can see the web conferencing policy prioritizes direct link to the internet, but will go through the main headquarter office's firewall if that link is compromised. The policy is in read-only mode because it is predefined, but you can create a new one, and you can then assign any behavior and attributes to your new steering policy. Other important parameters can be set in the SD-WAN Objects option at the bottom of the top right menu, such as quality of service. The administrator can define quality of service policies to prioritize critical business applications and ensure optimal performance across the SD-WAN. Without changing tools or workflows, the administrator extends policy management to SD-WAN, intelligently directing traffic across headquarters, branch offices, and cloud environments. As the workforce extends beyond the enterprise, the administrator defines SASE policies from the same management interface, providing secure, policy-driven access for employees and contractors wherever they work. From the Checkpoint portal, the home of all of Checkpoint's products and solutions, you can access various cloud services. Navigate to the Integration and Services tab in the Security Management menu on the left, and select the SASE card. Changing to the Security Policies Management, I can see the rules in the Internet Access Policy package. You can see that the policy is not just about the rules, it's also about all the objects and configurations that have been accumulated in the organization's security management over the years. There are also some custom rules the network administrator has added. Rule number 3 is to ensure that research and development users will not upload source code to AI applications. And they've also added a rule so that only managed devices can access Office 365. Both these rules make a lot of sense, whether the employee is in the main office or working from home. Let's add another rule. The new rule discourages employees browsing to social networking sites that may be a security risk. Let's leverage the granular controls Checkpoint offers in its policy settings, and instead of using a blanket block action, the action is inform, which means that the end user will get a warning page in the browser, but if it's work-related, they can choose to continue. Now let's push this policy. In the familiar policy installation dialog, you can see a brand new SASE object. This object represents the entire SASE infrastructure in the cloud across all locations. Click Install, and this policy will be pushed to both the core organization and its SASE environment. Let's move on to the user's side and experience it from the client point of view. This is Alice's laptop. She's now working from home, and you can see that she's protected by Checkpoint SASE. When Alice browses the internet, she can go to any website that's approved by the policy. But if she goes to a social networking site, for example TikTok, she gets the warning page that we configured earlier. She can, of course, choose to proceed. And that event will be audited because unification is not just about the policy, it's also about logs and troubleshooting. So let's head over to Checkpoint Events and run a very simple search for user Alice Jackson. And I can see all of her activity across all security products. This brings us to the close of this video, where we showed Checkpoint's unified policy management across all of the organizational network segments. From traditional firewalls to cloud firewalls and native cloud firewalls, we implemented SD-WAN steering policies and extended our policies outside the traditional boundaries of the organization across its SASE environment.